Let me get you all on here first. What he needs to break through from fear to commitment, a man's journey to readiness, is in this video. So I want you to stay tuned to a great example that I'm going to unpack for you. Cory Muscara. He is a special guy. He is married. He has a child. He is a coach. He's an author. But we can use everything from his story and extrapolate that to average men across the globe, because it is fundamental. It truly is. I'm going to make sure I have enough light on the subject here. It might be better. Yes. Hello. Glad you are joining me here on YouTube. And if you are over on Instagram, please click the link in my story and come on over to YouTube, because that's where I look at your comments and answer your questions during the Q&A portion. So those of you who know me know that I have what I call my lure him in or lure him back approach. They go hand in hand, because so many times, because of men's resistance to commitment, which is natural, and we don't want to impugn them for something that is natural, we have to understand that it may take for a lot of people and a vast amount of relationships for something to break up that isn't working, so we can reset it and restart it. And my work centers around 3 pillars that help you to understand that you do have it, that you stay in a mindset of manifestation that allows you to know that this is going to be your person, be your relationship. You're going to go the distance, while allowing the man to go through the natural course of events most men must confront. And that's what Cory is going to get into tonight, in order to commit. Many times that encompasses a breakup. But what happens for most people is they break up not because they don't love each other. The love is there. That is not the reason. And if you know anything about me, you know I say all the time, love is not the thing that is the be-all end-all for a man to make his decision to commit. Not at all. In my book, you will find what a man needs. It is 5 things that he must have, feel, know, and ultimately decide upon in order to commit. And if you are new to me here and you are just finding this video, I am Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach for women, licensed social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. The operative word there is decide. And we're going to get into that tonight with this discussion. Cory Muscara, I did not hear his last name, but Cory Muscara, coach, and he is on a great podcast with Andre Ducum, and he has a very special way about him. He has very special guests on, and I want to give you this, and we're going to stop it and break it down for you piece by piece so you really get it. If you are in a situation where you know your man loves you, you know in your soul you should be together. You might have been together for years and there's something holding him back from commitment. I want you to listen to this story. I'm going to bring him on. He gives a precursor and then he gets into the meat of it, and we are going to dissect that kind of piece by piece. So let's get started.
And then it wasn't until I met Brianna that I was thrust into a 5-year journey of trying to figure out how to discern what is truth and what is conditioning and what does it mean to make one of the most important decisions of one's life from a place of freedom and truth, so that the relationship is an extension of that. So I'll share about our story. I met Brianna at an alumni event at UPenn. We both went to grad school for positive psychology there. And I remember when I first saw her, she like stopped me in her tracks.
And I want to say something here. He went to school for positive psychology. So I want you to know right off the bat, this is a man who has a particular penchant for things emotional in a way that I'm going to go out on a limb and say most men are resistant to. So understand that here right off the bat.
Would watch her walk around the room and there wasn't a performative bone in her body. She just carried this resonance of authenticity that drew me in. And I eventually convinced a friend to introduce us, and we started talking. We spent 3 hours talking about spiritual bypassing, and we went deep, quick, and we were hooked. And the next several months, we really just like danced in this place of getting to know each other, sharing stories, laughing, and falling in love. And one of Brianna's students refers to her as a walking Mary Oliver poem. And that was my experience. She was just opening me up to new dimensions of myself. And
You understand that just by his wording, he is a guy who is particularly high in EQ. And a little bit of his backstory, he was a monk for a while. So a man pretty in touch with himself. And that's why this is a great example, because if this man goes through what is completely natural for men to go through, no matter where they fall on a scale of being highly actualized or not so much, you will really get this.
and as I'm sure you know, with that much access to life, that much commitment to honesty, and that much devotion to truth is confronting. And my 27-year-old self was not ready for it. The biggest thing was just how much emotional range and expression she had. Like when she was in anger, she let herself be in anger. When she was in sadness, she let herself be in sadness. When there was something that was misaligned, like she wanted to get in and wrestle with it and understand it and be like, there's something not right here. Why can't I feel you? I can't feel you right now.
Again, listen to his wording, and actually that he is very attracted to his girlfriend at this time, her emotionality. But this, and he will talk about that, can be very disruptive to the man, disconcerting, disarming. And I think he uses the word a bit scary. So also keep that in mind while listening.
And, it was scary to me. Here I am, like monk
There you
boy,
go.
just like, well, why don't we try to pause and respond instead of react. And have you heard about the HALT acronym? Are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Are you tired? It's like, let's just breathe together. She's like in life itself, and scared the shit out of me, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't have the capacity to be with it. And at the same time, it was so clear that so much of my spiritual practice had become like forms of suppression and didn't give me range to meet.
Also, note that he said his 27-year-old self couldn't handle it, but this doesn't have anything to do with age necessarily. Again, he had been a monk for 5 years. He went to a very prestigious school, obviously extremely bright for psychology. So he was pretty in touch with emotions, all things being equal. So even he was very, very scared by his girlfriend's available emotions and her dealing with them. And this is what I talk to you guys about all the time, is that we must be very careful around our man with our emotions, because he doesn't typically have that availability. And when we don't understand something, many, many times we are scared of it. And at the very least, we tend to back away from it or repel it because we are scared of it. So again, keep that in mind.
Her on this level. But when I was in it, I was like, Mary Oliver turned into Edgar Allan Poe. I was just like, what am I supposed to do? But we worked on it. Like, we continued to meet that. We also had a lot of other things like working against us. We were living on opposite coasts. I was the East Coast. She was West Coast. She was 7 years older than me. We met when I was 28. She was 35. So we both wanted family. We were aware of timeline stuff. We just came from different cultures. Like, I grew up on Long Island, like New York Italian. She grew up in like the wholesome Northwest. So it's just like there was friction and a lot to be worked out in our personality structure. And yet there was like a deep magnetic pull that was undeniable. So we kept like exploring and playing and trying to figure it out. And after like a year or so, I checked myself and I was like, what is it? How do you feel about like proposing when you think about getting married? And when I would imagine getting on one knee, the thing that arose was this tightness in my chest. And I was like, whoa, okay. So I guess this is a sign that this isn't right. Like, this is an intuitive knowing. I didn't have that language yet. It was just like something's can't move forward, telling me not to move forward. So then I would think about breaking up. It's like, all right, well, let's think about breaking up and how we want to do it. And as soon as I would think about breaking up, all this fear would flood my system. And the fear would get all swirly with these other emotions and not wanting to hurt her. And then it would convince me that like, that's not right. And then all of a sudden I went from like 90% clarity to like, it's time to break up, to 90% clarity to it's time to stay together.
So you hear the confusion there. And this is the normal wrestling of almost every man. And we could do hours on the reasons for it. But if you accept it as a given, the differences between men and women, you will help yourself immensely to just know it, accept it. If we really accept the differences, night and day, sun and rain, on or off, stop or go, apples and oranges, male or female, we don't have to get angry at it. We don't have to impugn it. We don't have to judge it. We can be frustrated by it, and we can talk to our girlfriends about it, not too much, because what we talk about and avow tends to come out. But if we accept it, we can move through it much faster and help the man move through it. And that's what I do with lure him in, lure him back. Because typically we get into relationships and we think this man does get it. He is different. We are connected in this way. He does understand. Because you are in it, you have a hard time seeing the forest for the trees. And because your love takes over and you feel the love coming back at you, you just assume, well, then it's going to go this way. It's a natural course. Like I say in my book, that we as women view commitment as a natural outgrowth of love. Men view commitment as a responsibility. So that's why, in a nutshell, this is very normal. And his journey is so telling. And I want to keep going here so that you hear it all.
And then that would last for a couple of days, and then it would settle, and I would just be back in this space of like, oh, we're just kind of doing the relationship, but can't really go all in, can't get out. And this was my first internal reckoning of like, I actually don't know how to discern in my own experience. What is truth? Like, what is wisdom? What is the voice that I should follow? And what is the one I shouldn't? And so we would talk about it, and we like try to work on it. It's a hard thing to admit, but we were conscious enough to explore it. And we did that for weeks, and weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. And during that period, we tried to break up multiple times and failed. We tried to imagine being together. We would like pretend to plan out a wedding and who we were going to invite and where we were going to be. And I would just like freeze the whole time. We tried to break up and succeeded a handful of times, or we'd do it for a month or two, but we'd come back together because it didn't feel right.
Okay, so right there, you want to stop and understand. He says, we tried to break up. We went back and forth. This is where we go wrong. And it is the foundation of my lure him back approach, lure him in approach. Both, because they are one and the same. That if you allow for that, you don't allow for the man to move into clarity. And the crux of this, and he's almost finished here with it, but it's a wonderful, wonderful example of it, how he got to the clarity, but every man must get to that. And we can help it greatly, or we can hinder it immensely. I want to keep going because we're going through this step by step and getting to the story.
And then as time went on, like the pressure built up, the pressure to have a decision. And anyone who's like endeavored in this path knows that like the main thing that will get in the way of you accessing an inner knowing is feeling stress and pressure. It just creates too much noise. So we knew that, and we're just like, all right, so let's do these things where we create these open containers for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, where we take the pressure off entirely to know what to do. And we just focus on loving each other and figuring out, working out the edges. And we would do that, and it would work. And we were deepening in how much we loved each other and learning to live together. There was so much that was opening up, but it was like an asymptote. It was getting closer and closer to the thing, but never quite touching. Because each time we'd get to the end of one of those containers, and I was counting it down, it was like 3 days left, 2 days left, I would check, what is it like to think about getting on one knee and proposing? And the same stuck tension in my chest.
Okay, so understand, this is so important. What he is describing there is like that thing that people can tend to do. Let's just take the pressure off and let's just be together. And it can be kind of just amorphous, but we'll give it a time frame. And he said, I would count down the days of the time frame. It is not a good idea. I will get into more of the why that is, but it is not a part of luring a man in and luring him back. You cannot allow for the man to know that you are okay with that. Again, each situation bears a deep dive in looking at it and understanding where you are, because it is very different. One woman can be with a man for, say, 5 years, and like he's saying, and you're at this place and you've been back and forth and all of these things. Or it can be you've been together 5 months and he's wrestling with it. And time alone is not the issue, but it's what is going on, your way of showing up in the relationship and how you are holding space for him to go at a much slower pace than you. And ding, ding, ding. If you are here, you know that there are 3 things above all a man must have. They are under the 2 categories of safety and happiness. And under safety, there are 2 things that are at play. Above all, he must know that you are in the Madonna category of Freud's Madonna whore dichotomy, which his Brianna was. That wasn't an issue. He trusted her. He felt safe. Then the man must feel safe from your emotions. Now, this can be extremely confusing. Well, I need to be vulnerable. And he obviously loved, listen to this story. He loved seeing her emotions and how incredible she was accessing them and wanting to feel things. Yes, but he's also afraid of it because something in him is not able to understand it nor put it in a place for him that it isn't about him and that he has to do something about it. Again, he doesn't understand it. So to whatever degree a woman is emotionally dysregulated in front of the man can cause enormous issues. Is that fair? Does that seem fair? Is it just? Is it something we have to hide all the time? And I get it. I understand it. I'm not here to defend. I am here to tell you what is so that we correct all the problems in relationships. And that's what I help women do, because if you want it, it is up to you to take that responsibility and help the man who knows a lot less than you, who is accessing a lot less emotional resonance than you, who doesn't understand relationships in the way that you do, who just doesn't get it in the way that you do. How I use my mechanics of men to explain that it's the same in relationships as it is with him with the car. He just understands it on a fundamental level, how it works, typically in a way that you as a woman don't. And you can't discuss the inner workings of a car with a man in the way another guy could, about the engine and how it works and how it runs and the turbo and the this and the that. You don't care, you don't know, you don't understand generally, and you're not going to. That's his realm. So, like with the car, we want him to make it look good, make it feel good. We get in it, it's comfortable, we turn the key, and it goes. And the most we have to do, put gas in it, let him know if a light comes on the dash, and he'll check it out, and he'll handle it. He wants that, metaphorically, in the relationship. He wants it to look good. He wants it to feel good. He wants it to work well and not have to get under the hood of it all the time for it to work. So we're going to continue on. We're getting to his epiphany, and it is so good to see in real time this man go through the story about how he gets there. Now, not every man is going to do it exactly this way, but it still must happen. We'll go into that.
We did that for 5 years.
Whoa.
5 years. I met Brianna when she was 35. We wanted a family. We were pushing up on when she was 40. And we had our stuff. Like, it's hard to go that long and not have stuff. Like, why can't you guys break up? Like, that's a good question. That's a very good question. We were trying to figure that out, but there was just something pulling us forward. Eventually, September 2022, after 5 years, a couple months before her 40th birthday, I'm just like, we have to end it. Like, this has to be done. We can't keep doing this. And so I mustered up enough courage and surrender to actually really break that process. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, which it might sound ridiculous, but anyone who's like worked at relationship dynamics at this level, you know, these things, they hit your most vulnerable survival patterns. Like, it feels like you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it through. And then once that softened, we knew on the other side, like, okay, yeah, this is right. We do need to be broken up right now.
So this tells me one other main point here that I want you to understand, that she was not guiding it in a way that would have helped him. When there is this kind of back and forth, and he is the man, is saying, we have to break up. There's something fundamentally off here in that. Let me give you this as the example, that it's like we are stuck on the side of the road in the middle of the desert with no cell service because it's the middle of the desert, and we've broken down in the car, and we know that there might not be another car coming for an entire day, and we don't have provisions. Who looks to whom to understand it and potentially get us out of that spot, which is being stuck? In that scenario, we would look to the man who fundamentally knows the car better than we do. He has the best chance of figuring it out and potentially doing something to get us out of there. He may say, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to open up the hood. I want you to do this, do that, whatever it is. You'll take his lead, and you'll allow for him to lead in that respect. In this scenario, I know right away the problem was she did not. She was allowing it to linger because of her love. And this is very, very typical for women to do, because we think he'll get there. If we continue to be together, and again, they likely had some problems, or it would not be that we have to break up, we have to break up, we have to break up. But we know if he is wrestling and it's been that kind of time, then she needed to do that. And this is fundamentally what will work. And you will hear how that went down and finally occurred.
It wasn't a perfect breakup. Like next 5 months, I packed up everything, went back to New York. She was in Palo Alto. We would talk periodically, do the things you're not supposed to do. Like, I still love you, but we really stayed separate. And it was like moving in that direction. Then New Year's 2022, I microdosed psilocybin in the attic of a friend's house by myself. It's like the saddest visual you can conjure up. And Brianna just comes through full force. And I see some stuff in myself, like around commitment and intimacy, that I'm like, oh man, like, could that be the thing that's blocking it? So I reach out to her the next day and I tell her what's up. And she agrees, just like, all right, if we want to give this one more shot, let's do it, and let's do it well. We go to LA, we meet with this therapist for 4 days, and we put everything out on the table.
So right there, understand, she agreed. A big mistake, because she agreed without the commitment. Remember, you as a woman, you're all in. When you're in the relationship, you're in, and you just feel the commitment will be a natural outgrowth of the feelings that you two have. A big mistake right then and there. He came to her after this experience wanting to give it another try. No, this is where we go wrong, because it's in my book and you can understand it through evolutionary psychology, male psychology. Men are more black and white. It's either on or off, stop or go, yes or no. We can use that, because if right then and there she had said, I'm not going back without a complete commitment, we're not doing that again. We've been doing that. Yes, I love you. Love is not enough. I want commitment. Because again, understand, it is one of my gender gaps in the book. And if you have not read it, you can go and listen to it. It's here on YouTube in full, each chapter. Hear it. It's on its own playlist. Why won't he commit? One of my 5 gender gaps. Again, we see commitment as a natural outgrowth of love. Women, we don't have to make any decision about it. We view commitment as a natural outgrowth of love. We love, we're committed. That's it. Men view commitment as a responsibility. And you're going to hear him say this. It's beautiful because he says everything I've been saying. And when you get that, and you understand it through my puppy principle, which you will free yourself by doing the behaviors that are necessary. That's what my luring approach is. That's what my lure him back is. When you do the behaviors that lead him to feel what he needs to feel and make a decision to take you on as the responsibility he sees commitment as being, you free yourself. And that's what the rest of this is going to show you. And for those of you over on Instagram, I'm so happy you're here. I would love for you to come on over to YouTube, because I'm gonna end the Instagram live here. Come on over to YouTube. That's where we go deep. We get to go back and forth. I see your questions and I answer questions in the Q&A, and it really helps me enormously to grow the YouTube community, where we go into things on a much deeper level than you can ever hope to get on Instagram. That's what I'm all about. So I'm going to end that here for you. Come on over to YouTube. You can go to my stories now. Just click into the link and you will be there. I welcome you. I want you to say hello. I want to get to know you, and that's the best place to do it. So that's where we're doing it. Come on over to YouTube and let's keep going. All righty. So Okay, let's keep going with Cory's story because he's getting to all of it. It's gonna wrap up nicely, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna love it.
And we go deep, and it's mostly stuff with me. Like I'm going into childhood patterns. Like I'm crying on the couch. I'm touching some like learned patterns when I was a kid in relationship to boys and other people where I didn't feel safe and I felt guarded. And it's like, man, something is opening up. And after all of that, we get to the end. We're sitting in the car about to go to the airport. And she asks, like, so what are we doing? And I imagine getting on one knee and proposing. And it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she said, like, we're done. Like we're really done. We gotta move on.
She did it.
And so we did. We went our separate ways.
Uh-huh.
A week later, I go to Mexico with my very good friend Miles. Single.
Think of it. 1 week later, when she finally does it and he knows it's true.
Guy now. So we're gonna go kite surf for a month. I love Miles. He has been such a healing friendship for me. There's so much range in our friendship. We go deep in different areas. We laugh. I love him. 3 days into being together, he does something that annoys me. I don't even remember what it was. I walk out, I go on the rooftop overlooking the Sea of Cortez. And I just noticed this thought, like, oh, maybe Miles isn't going to be as long-term a friend as I thought he was going to be. I had enough awareness that I had some stuff potentially around relationships. And I had enough recognition of how much like I adored this human to be able to catch the absurdity of that thought. And I said, wait a second, buddy. Like, if Miles is not a long-term friend, like who would be? And I could feel myself trying to squirm away from an answer. It was like a part of me that was like, oh, don't ask that question. And I held its feet to the fire. I said, no, we got to look at this. Like, where did that come from? And as soon as I held it to the fire in that way and penetrated into it, something started to unravel. And I went into this like sober psychedelic experience where I got dropped into all of these past relationships my mind was taking me through, friendships, partnerships, family dynamics, where I'm seeing this pattern of something get uncomfortable, a part of me get judgmental and want to pull away and create distance. As I'm doing it, this part of me that's been like aching in the relationship and tightening up is throbbing and pulsating. But every relationship dynamic I go through in my mind, it's softening a little bit more. There's fear coming up. I'm seeing the pattern. It's softening more, taking me all the way down to some of the earliest ones when I was 5 years old and like a boy threw snow in my face. And I remember it was just the first experience of betrayal and not feeling like I could get out of the situation and learning that it wasn't safe to be with people.
So you see what he's going through here is so typical. And what I talk about in terms of manifestation, that this was the bridge of incidents that needed to happen to allow for what is going to come next. It was only 1 week after she finally said, "We are done." Those 3 words. Nothing is more profound for a man. And there is lag time. And you'll hear about this lag time. Very, very interesting.
It went on for a half hour. My body made movements it hadn't made before. My chest was pulsating. My mind just cycled through everything over the last 35 years. Then after 30 minutes, something settled. My mind got calm and clear. My body started to soften. And then I thought about Brianna. And when she came to mind, there was no tension in my chest. And I said, what's it like to think about proposing to Brianna. And I imagined myself on one knee. And the answer that came through was, of course, of course. First time ever, no tension here at all, no resistance, just clear knowing, the deepest yes and truth I had ever experienced.
Mhm.
For the next 2 weeks, I woke up and I checked that because I didn't know, maybe I just had a manic episode or something.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Also understand, a man doesn't just act on an emotion. He lets it sit there. He digests it. This is crucial to understand. And we, as women, must know it and give them that space. Here's the issue that most women go through, and what I work with on the flip side while this is occurring, is the self-concept and subconscious programming that's at play for the woman if she doesn't feel like she can live in the knowing that this is taking place for the man, because she is enough, because she is worthy of that relationship, because she is worthy of his love, because she is deserving, because she is enough. So we have to work on that part, as well as doing this part with him, and those come together to give him the space with our calm, confident knowing that is alluring and magnetic. When the love is there, like this, I know he will be back. But again, it has to be done in this fashion to guide him to go through what he needs to go through. Cory is describing his journey and what he needed to go through. For each man, it is different because we are all different. It's as unique as his thumbprint, but it's going to be along the same lines. It's still a thumbprint, you see? So I want you to hear the rest of it and wrap it up because it's really lovely.
And I would imagine her in like her worst moments. And I would imagine like the way she triggers me the most. And it was just still a yes. 2 weeks later, I got on a plane, San Francisco, told her I wanted to meet up. I asked if she'd be willing to. Bought a ring and shared the whole story with her and said, like, I'm here. I am 100% here. And if you're ready to move forward, only if you're here too, like, I'm ready. She said yes. And we got married 6 months later, and now we have a 4-month-old child.
Lovely. Mhm. Finally, when it is done in this way, it works like a charm. And you may say, well, that's, because they were together 5 years, but no, it doesn't need to be at all. If the love is there, and if we do it in this way to bring him to awareness through his feelings, not around them, not by talking to him about it, not by pressuring him. Yes, it will be best, and he will be best in commitment. Just like with the puppy principle, we have this exact experience because we as women love all puppies. If we love doggies at all, we love all puppies. They're all cute and wonderful in one way, shape or form. Big, tall, short, small. Yes, we love them. There's something cute and wonderful about each one. But we must make a decision based not just on feelings, but on readiness to take on the commitment of adopting one, because at the end of the day, it is a responsibility for us. This is the way men feel about women. They love us all in one way, shape, or form. And it can be very confusing because one is cuter than the other. They must feel the love, but make a decision to take on the responsibility. And we as women have all manner of pushback on that. Well, I don't need a man to take responsibility for me. I make my own money. I do my own thing. Doesn't matter how you see it. He sees it as that. And a good man will see it as that. And you want him to not just be responsible for you. He needs to be responsible to you. There is a difference there. Just like we need to be responsible for the little puppy we decide to adopt, money, taking it to the vet, being responsible, feeding it, taking it out. But we need to also be responsible to it. We can't just go out after work and have fun and not think about it, right? We have to be responsible to it. That takes some readiness. It doesn't mean you have to try it out for years and years by fostering one before you take it on. No, you make a decision. And this is what is the beauty of my lure him back approach, or lure him in. Same idea. It's all on a continuing. That you must understand, you must guide him to that readiness through your awareness of what he needs. And then stay in a state of knowing, conviction, calm confidence, letting the bridge of incidents happen, like here, while manifesting what it is that you want. This keeps you in a positive state, knowing you will have it, trusting. This is a fundamental thing that must happen for us, and we have lost in our modern world so much ability to trust in love. Yeah. You see, this one is so clear. The love was there all along. His readiness was not. That had to be guided. It is not going to be guided through discussion. It is not going to be guided through trying. It is not going to be guided through, let's take a break. It is not going to be guided through contact. It is not going to be guided through verbalization. It is going to be guided by concise action, staying in the right state, making the man feel safe. It's huge. I wanted to bring this to you today. If you are in a relationship where you know commitment is going to be that last cherry on top, and it truly is very, very needed, because if a man does not take responsibility in the relationship, and he can live with you and not be taking responsibility, absolutely, because of his readiness. It's like fostering a pup, or just there's one in the neighborhood and you love it. So you open the door, let it come in, clean it up, love on it, sleep with it. But if you don't pull that trigger and take responsibility for it by making a decision, I'm adopting it, you're going to fail it, and you're going to let it out. Yeah. So lots of comments and questions tonight. I want to get to answer them. I'm so glad you are all here. I trust this was of value. If it is, please, before you forget, put a like on it. That helps me enormously. It helps other people find the video so that I can help other women and grow our community here. Very important. Thank you. Hi there. Seeing hellos tonight. Yes, Opal, I see your question. Hi, Angel. Yes, you can absolutely wait and we'll discuss it. That's great. Jay, nice to see you. Virginia, nice to see you. Christine, I'm so, oh, what a lovely, I'm going to put this up. How wonderful. I am so glad. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. That makes me feel wonderful. So happy to have that comment. Okay, Opal, I had a good first meeting tonight. Yay! The guy just texted me. I hope he got home okay. What do you suggest as a response in addition to the yes? Well, if you had a nice time, that's all you add. Say, thank you for checking. Yes, a lovely time! Exclamation. So, oh, I think somebody was answering you. Doesn't she say not to respond to that and make him wonder? No, no need to at all. When a man does the right thing by doing what he did after that first meeting, you see, I answered it in a positive, light way, being open, but I don't continue it. I don't ask a question. I don't say, did you get home okay? If you understand how questions don't help us typically, go to my video here, the 5 R's of texting. And then I also have another one using emojis in text, I think, that will explain to you why questions don't help us. Yes, Opal, keep it in that lovely, just nice way. Excellent. So she said, home, dog walked. Okay, a little dry, but so I think you just saw my answer. Okay, great. Let's see. Emily, any suggestions on what to say if you steered a first meeting away from the suggestion of coffee? Yay! We don't want to do coffee. Coffee on a first meeting from online. Don't do it. I have a video here about that too. Don't do coffee on a first meeting. You have coffee with a girlfriend. You have coffee with a colleague. A coffee does not feel date-like. It is not the right atmosphere for a date. There are some really one-off places where they're very highly feeling of romantic coffee houses. They're few and far between, and it's still not enough the essence of date. But again, if there's some really kind of more romantic type of coffee place, it's possible. But again, coffee is also not the right time. People don't have coffee at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. date times. So I wouldn't do it. So great that you steered him away. He said you'd like to get a drink after work and has gone back to the coffee. So I'm not sure, Emily, if you could expound. He may, I'm surprised he went back to that, typically because the best time and the easiest suggestion, happy hour. And it's not about drinking. And if he says, well, he may say, well, I don't drink. And you can say, oh, I'm not a big drinker at all. I just like the atmosphere and I can meet after work. So how about, John's bar at 6 on Tuesday? When you have not met yet from online, you steer it, you guide it until you meet that first time. Then he takes over. But you must do this. He suggested coffee on the weekend. Right, no. I said no, but I'm free for a drink after work next week. Excellent. And then he suddenly tried to suggest coffee again at night after work. There may be something with him that he doesn't drink. And that could be the issue. So, can you tell me more? Did you do anything after that, or are you waiting to see what I said, Emily? Because you can say, I'm trying to think, because here's the thing, because you haven't met yet, and that is a little odd, and I'm wondering if he is maybe afraid to go to a bar, if he is trying to not drink. So you might say something like, okay, again, if there's a really cool place to get coffee, meaning it's very loungy, it's not a Starbucks or someplace like that. Now, I know there are some very upscale Starbucks that are more loungy. If there's this much pushback, see if you can find a place. He may also not want to pay for a drink, or he's had some bad experience with someone drinking on a first meeting. Who knows? But again, we can't push too much. You tried, and in a very good way. You did great. So I would just say, okay, how about, and pick a place and say, I know they have coffee there, and see if he will. I hope that answers it. Emily, I haven't, and his profile says he does drink alcohol. So there's something very odd. But as long as he's doing it, it is odd. Yes, Emily, it's very odd. He's wrestling for control here about it. I don't know what that is. I think that it might be something along the lines of, he doesn't want to pay for you to have a cocktail. And if you say something like, I just like the atmosphere at John's bar for happy hour, I'm just likely going to get a soda, and I know they have coffee. How does that feel? Or will that work? Something like that. Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Christine, can you elaborate on how to make him feel safe so that he does not make that final decision, so that he does make that final decision? Currently, my boyfriend and I are not ready for marriage, but hoping to get to that point someday. Christine, this is a much larger question, because to the degree, again, you say we're not at that place, hoping to get to that point. I would want to know how long you have been together, and if you are not at that place, what the holdups are. Typically, what is happening now is that people wait too long. It's not the length of time, it's the quality of the relationship and the readiness of two people. And again, we guide the man to that. If you have questions about him and you are not ready, that's one thing. But if you are, more time in doesn't necessarily fix it. I call it my girlfriend law of diminishing returns. The longer your girlfriend and you're not guiding it, sometimes the less returns you're going to get, and it's going to break up. So, there are plenty of ways to talk to me. You can talk to me on a podcast for free. It's anonymous and it's audio only. I'll give you a whole breakdown of everything, and we'll dive deep into your particular situation. If you don't know the podcast, it's Make Him Wonder. It is here on YouTube as well. It's under its own playlist. Go and listen and connect with my assistant, Michelle, at coachpaulagrooms.com and say, I'd like to apply to be a guest. And we could be talking within the next week, and I can help you where you are with him right now. The safety factor, if that's something you're questioning, yes, it is huge. And I would have to know if he's backing off. I would have to decipher what's going on for you and your emotionality that might be inadvertently making him feel unsafe, because it's never our intention to make him feel unsafe. And again, our normal emotions, like Cory was talking about with his now wife, whose emotions were very readily available to her, scary to the man. So, Christine, I would love for you to do that. There are also other ways you can talk to me by doing a private consult. There is also a way, join the 80/20 Wonder Club, get all 200 plus episodes of Make Him Wonder, where I am diving deep, giving coaching sessions to women categorized by age, relationship status, getting an ex-back, growing a relationship to commitment, etc. And if you get a year membership, you will get a full coaching intensive experience with me, where you get to talk to me in one of my program calls, and we'll dive deep there. So there are 3 ways right there that you can talk to me, get my objective viewpoint. I'm honest with everyone that I talk to, because it only helps you if you get my honest opinion, and you and I are simpatico with the way you understand relationships, that the truth in me resonates with the truth in you, and you can take action steps and have a plan when we get off that call to execute behaviorally and know where you're going. Because many times we just are in a relationship, we feel something, but we feel almost like, well, I can't really have a goal here. What's a goal of a relationship? Because the end result is not marriage, right? It's more involved than that. It's deeper. It is the best relationship forever that you can have, and growing that relationship and deepening it. So it doesn't just stop at marriage, but again, marriage can come more quickly than, especially nowadays, people have been led astray to believe that we cannot possibly consider marriage before a certain amount of time. And the statistics just don't bear that out. There is no correlation between time together beforehand and longevity of a relationship in terms of marriage. As a matter of fact, here is a statistic that I think is so important for every woman to know. We all know that the divorce rate for first-time marriages is about 50%. 49% of first marriages for both parties fail 49% of the time. If you live together prior to engagement, now your divorce rate goes up to the second marriage divorce rate, which is at 62%. 62% of second-time marriages fail, and the divorce rate is over 72% for third marriages. So if you live together beforehand without being engaged to be married, if you marry from that living together without being engaged, you are now at the divorce rate of second marriages, which is 62%. And there have been all manner of experts who have bandied about why that is. And I think it's extremely simple why. If you live together without the man having made the decision to take you on as responsibility, he sees commitment as being by proposing prior to you moving in, you will have a problem. And that is why I believe the divorce rate goes up to 62% for people who live together prior to being engaged. We've been together for 3 years. We want to wait until our responsibility with our own kids are complete. Well, that seems reasonable. So if there isn't any other issue and you are just doing that, as long as you can live in the knowing, you stay with a conviction of that, knowing, manifesting it. If there are other complexities, and again, you want to talk through it, many times I will just have one session with someone because it's getting a clear path and a clear plan. Each situation has its own unique elements. And all I can tell you is that you can have anything that you want. You can't have everything you want, but you can have anything you want. And you have to know that you can. You have to stay in the mindset. You have to have the self-concept that you are worthy of it. You have to override your programming, which might entail that you will be left, abandoned, discarded. Your feelings will not be taken into account. If you are acting out in your relationship and you feel it and you don't know where it's coming from, that's subconscious programming. If you feel like, I know intellectually what's going on here and what I should be doing, but I'm compelled and it's coming out of me in a way that is not serving me or the relationship, that's subconscious programming. And that I can help you work on greatly. And you can go away with some real tools to be working on it. Yes, the ultimate goal is right, more important than just a marriage. It is a fantastic relationship leading to that forever, knowing that you can. With that, I'm so glad you are all here. If you please would, on the way out, because I'm going to love and leave you so your man doesn't, click that subscribe if you haven't. It means a great deal to me. And what means even more is that you put a like on this. So the algorithms know that this is some material that you would like to see, and that helps it push it out to other women like yourself who might get value from it too. And that helps me immensely. I would be grateful for that. So grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. There's more information in the description below, so you can be in touch with me so that I can help you in your unique situation. And until then, don't forget to make your man wonder, and I'll see you in the next video.